How to remap controller buttons on the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch makes it easy to change the button mapping of your controllers and save them to system-wide profiles that work in every game. You can also disable buttons, swap thumbsticks, and change the orientation of your Joy-Con sticks. Here's how. Starting with Switch System version 10.0.0. Players can change the function of each individual controller button on a system-wide basis in system settings. This process is often called remapping a controller, and Nintendo calls it change button mapping. Here's the lowdown on how it works. Change button mapping supports three types of controller: Joy-Con, L, Joy-Con, R, and Pro controller. If a third-party controller simulates one of these three categories, its buttons can be remapped as well. It is possible to disable certain buttons completely, such as screen capture, if they cause annoyance while gaming. The orientation of thumbsticks on Joy-Cons can be switched between vertical and horizontal, allowing one-handed play in games that previously only supported a horizontal Joy-Con orientation. It is possible to swap left and right thumbsticks, a nice accessibility feature for some users who might need to play a certain game one-handed. First, make sure the controller with the buttons you'd like to customize is connected to the Switch. Then launch System Settings by tapping on the gear icon on the Switch's home screen. On the button mapping screen, you will see a list of attached controllers on the left side of the screen. Select the controller you'd like to modify. Then select Change. We are using the Joy-Con, L, as an example here. But the same steps work on all three controller types. You will see a visual diagram of the controller you selected. With the thumbstick, navigate to the highlighted cursor to the button you'd like to customize. Then press A. A menu will pop up asking you to select a new mapping for the button you selected. You can pick any of the possible button functions or even disable a button completely. Highlight the mapping you want and press A. Back in the Change Button Mapping screen, you will see that the mapping for that button has changed. Repeat the steps above for each button you'd like to change. From the Change Button Mapping screen, you can also change the stick settings, such as swapping the left and right thumbsticks or changing the thumbstick orientation. Select Control Stick Settings, and press A. The following menu will change, depending on which controller you are configuring. On the Joy-Cons and Pro controller, you will have the option to swap the thumbsticks to function as either the left stick or right stick. On the Joy-Cons only, you can also change the directional orientation of the stick, which allows you to play horizontal Joy-Con games in a vertical orientation. When you are done exploring the stick settings, press B to return to the Change Button Mapping screen. When all of your configurations are complete, select Done. Exit the system settings and play games as usual. Or you can save the modified button mapping to recall it quickly later. If you'd like, you can save your custom button mapping to one of 5 save slots per controller type. In System Settings, navigate to Controllers and Sensors greater than Change Button Mapping. Select the controller with the modifications that you'd like to save. Then select Save Mapping. Your custom mapping will be saved, and you can load it again at any time in System Settings from Controllers and Sensors greater than Change Button Mapping greater than Button Mapping greater than Load Mapping. If you want to revert back to the default controller mapping, open System Settings, and navigate to Controllers and Sensors greater than Change Button Mapping. Select the controller with the modified mapping that you'd like to restore. Select Reset. At the confirmation dialog that follows, select Reset again. Your custom mapping will be completely reset, and the buttons will be back to normal. If you have changed your button mapping, when you restart the Switch or return to the home screen from sleep mode, you will see a warning message reminding you that your controller's button layout is different than usual. If you're having trouble with the controller layout, tap Reset Button Mapping on the Switch's touchscreen display, and the mapping will reset to default. Otherwise, you can select Use Without Resetting to keep your custom mapping active. You can also change button mappings on a Sony PlayStation's DualShock 4 controller and an Xbox One gamepad. You can even remap an Xbox One's buttons while it's connected to a PC. Text source: howtogeek.com